The Sesame Street Library, Volume 2, with Jim Henson's Muppets, featuring the letters C and D and the number 2. Written by Michael Frith, Jerry Joel, Emily Pearl Kingsley, Shannon Lerner, Nita Link, Albert Miser, Jeffrey Moss, Norman Stiles, John Stone, Daniel Wilcox. Illustrated by Mel Crawford, Peter Cross, A. Delaney, Michael Frith, Harry McNaught, Kelly DeChally, Bob Taylor. Photographs by Charles P. Rowan. With voices and narration by Speaky Geeky and Geekyjr's Mr. Geeky. C. A poem by Cookie Monster.
C is for cookies. Me like them a bunch. Me crunch them for dinner and breakfast and lunch. And then there are crumbs. Cookie crumbs are so yummy. Me sweep them off table and into my tummy. Did you know they word carton begins with a C? That's the box cookies coming. It is good to me. Nom, 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 nom. Well, that's all the C words me got for today. Me get in my car now and me drive away. Hey, wait. The word car starts with C. Boy, that's neat. Me thought me had run out of C things to eat. Crunch, 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 crunch. Tasty, but not as good as cookie. Bye-bye.
Look, 2 airplanes. Count them with me. 1, 2. Oh, I love it. The Perils of Penelope. One morning, Penelope was safe and snug inside her cottage. Hurry up, Bert. The story's beginning.
Why do I always have to be Penelope?
Then Penelope went outside. Don't worry, Bert. See, all you have to do is step outside.
Oh, is that all? That's not so bad.
Unfortunately, Penelope had walked between 2 charging rhinoceroses.
Ernie, rhinoceroses.
Isn't this exciting, Bert? Well, wait till you see what happens on the next page. Where's my hat? Fortunately, a young hero crane operator came along and used his crane to lift Penelope up to higher ground. Fear not, Penelope. The young hero crane operator will use my crane to lift you up to higher ground.
Thank goodness.
Unbeknownst to Penelope, the higher ground was atop of a cliff, and poor Penelope stepped off.
That's it, Ernie. I'm leaving this story.
You're doing fine, Bert. You're doing just what it says. Luckily, a giant bird caught Penelope in its claws.
I don't believe this.
Happy landings, Penelope. I Used to Be Afraid by Grover and Ernie.
When I was little, I used to be scared of being alone in the night. I'd put the blankets up over my head and pray that the sky would get light. But then my mommy sat by my bed and said there was nothing to fear, 'cause nothing scary went on in the night, and she and my daddy were near.
When I was little, I used to be scared of taking a bath in the tub. I thought when the water ran down the drain that I would go with it, glub glub. But my old buddy Bert said, come on, use your brain. If you just take a look, you will see that you never could fit through the very small drain. Now my tubby's where I love to be. Hey, Bert, what'll I do with this old tub?
Ernie, I have a nifty idea.
Bet this'll help too. Now that's what I call cooperation.
Cookie Monster's butterfly cookies. What, you hungry again? Well, you in luck. It's time to make butterfly cookies. First, get out your dough. What, you need more? Okay, look at volume 1 for cookie dough recipe. Ready now? We're going to make some cookie paint. First, get some evaporated milk, or mix 1 egg yolk with 1/4 teaspoon of water. Then get some cups and put a little milk or egg mixture in each one. Now add some food coloring to each cup. You get cookie paint. If paint gets too thick, just add a few drops of water. Now sprinkle cloth with flour and roll out dough on it about 1/4 inch thick. Cut little strips of dough for middle of butterfly. Next, come wings. You remember how to make circle cookies? Just press down glass and peel away extra dough. Then cut circle in half. Now put the pieces together like this and paint with your pretty cookie paint. And you have a beautiful butterfly. Now heat the oven to 400 degrees. Put butterflies on ungreased cookie sheet and cook 6 to 8 minutes. Now, what do we do while butterflies cook? Me know. We can play game on next page. Do you know where all the good things that go into Cookie Monster's famous cookie dough come from? Well, you're gonna find out now. Just follow the paths. Flour comes from wheat that grows in a field. Butter comes from milk, and milk comes from cows. Eggs come from chickens. Most sugar comes from a plant called sugarcane. Okay, me think butterflies are ready now. Me look. Oh no, come back. Oh, this is terrible.
Here's a picture of Grover and Betty Lou as plumbers. In this story, there are dozens of words that begin with the letter D. So listen carefully and see how many D words you can count. This story is called The Diamond D and the Dreadful Dragon. Dozens of years ago, in a drafty castle, Duke David of Dundeedle did dwell. Duke David was dumpy but dignified, and he had a darling daughter named Dora who was a delight. One day, Dora danced through the door in a dear little dress decorated with daffodils. Doodly-doo, Dora sang as she danced. Oh, hello, dear dumpy daddy, said Dora to Duke David of Dundeedle.
Dora, my darling, dimpled daughter, said Duke David, you are indeed delightful, so I have a dandy present for you.
Do tell, said Dora. Do describe this doodad, daddy.
It's a dazzling diamond D dangling from a chain.
So, hanging the D around Dora's dimpled neck, Duke David of Dundeedle departed through the door. Dora also departed, darting down into the daisy patch to dance amid the Duke's downy ducks. Although Dora and Duke David didn't know it, someone else dwelt in the castle. This someone was Donald, the dreadful dragon of Dundeedle.
I'm Donald, the dreadful dragon of Dundeedle.
I live in a dungeon downstairs in Duke David's dwelling. It is a deep dungeon, a dark dungeon, a deep, dark, damp, dank, dreary dungeon. It is a dump.
Donald used dozens of D words, which was the only thing you could say about him. Otherwise, he was a dud. Donald the dragon dashed from the dungeon directly to Duke David's dandy daisy patch.
I am dashing from my dungeon to steal the diamond D that Duke David gave his daughter Dora, he said.
Donald, the doer of dark deeds, drifted into the daisy patch. Dora, daughter of Duke David, saw the dreadful dragon and dropped a drooping daisy from her dainty, dimpled hand. She danced directly up to Donald the dragon and declared, Well, look who's here, a dear doggy. Hi there, doggy. Donald disbelieved his droopy ears.
Doggy, he screamed. Did you say doggy?
Definitely, said Dora.
Well, I do declare, said Donald. If Dora, the dignified Duke David's daughter, thinks that I, Donald the dreadful dragon of Dundeedle, am a doggy, then Dora is dense.
But you're the dearest doggy I've ever seen, Dora declared. Do come and dwell in our castle, doggy dear, and I'll give you this diamond D which my doting daddy dropped around my dimpled neck.
Don't doggy me,
Donald roared, darting toward Dora, determined to grab the diamond D. Suddenly, Duke David dashed into the daisy patch, diving between darling Dora and dreadful Donald. The Duke drove Donald around and around the daisy patch. The dismal dragon ducked, dodged, darted, and dashed through the ducklings and the daisies until the Duke dumped him into the duck pond. Daddy dear, said Dora, why did you do that?
Because the dreadful dishonest dragon was determined to steal the dazzling diamond D from around your dainty dimpled neck, said the Duke.
Dragon, said Dora. I'll be darned. He looks like a doggy to me.
You're dunce. But you're adorable, Dora, said Duke David. So here's what we'll do. From this day on, this dreadful dragon will dwell in a doghouse, dine on dog biscuits, and do doggy tricks to delight my divine daughter, Dora. Or else.
Or else what? Donald demanded.
I'll dump you in the dunk pond again. Bow wow, said Donald. I'm a doggy.
And so David, Duke of Dundeedle, and his delightful daughter Dora lived happily ever after with Donald the doggy, who used to be a dreadful dragon.
Grover's Neighborhood Games. Hello, everybody. I, Grover, have a wonderful new guessing game. You pretend you are a person who works in your neighborhood, and you act out your job. See if your friends can guess who you are. When I play, I pretend to put out a big fire with a hose. Can you guess who I am? Did you say a fireman? Oh, you are so smart. Sometimes I like to dress up like different people in the neighborhood. Here are some of my favorite costumes. Grover the mailman? Make a mailbag for your letters out of a paper folder. Use cardboard or construction paper to make a hat. Grover the policeman. Cover a round piece of cardboard with silver foil for a badge. Make a police hat out of cardboard. Grover the doctor. Hang a spool of thread around her neck on a string for a stethoscope. An old shoebox can be your doctor's bag. Fill it out with empty bottles and bandages made out of some clean rags. All right, open wide. Say ah.
Roosevelt Franklin washes his dog. Here is Roosevelt Franklin filling the tub with water. Roosevelt is taking his dog, Night Train, over to the tub. Roosevelt is putting Night Train into the tub. Roosevelt is giving Night Train a nice scrub. There, see how clean Night Train is? And Roosevelt did it all by himself. Good for you, Roosevelt Franklin. Sherlock Hemlock in The Mysterious Stranger.
Egad! It is I, Sherlock Hemlock, the world's greatest detective. I think someone's hiding in this darkened room. Luckily, I've brought my flashlight. Zounds! 2 suspicious-looking shoes. Count them. 1, 2. 2 of something else. 2 sinister hands. Gad! This suspect has 2 of everything. 2 beady eyes. Aha! The light switch. Now we'll see who this sinister 2 of everything person is. Egad! This isn't a person, it's a picture. It's not suspicious at all. Strange. That face looks familiar. I've seen that man somewhere. Very handsome, whoever he is.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. The case of the missing letter. I'm supposed to talk about the next letter, but it's missing. How will we ever know what it is?
Fear not, Ernest. I, Sherlock Hemlock, the world's greatest detective, will solve the mystery of the missing letter by looking for clues.
D for donkey.
Hee-haw, hee-haw.
Look, Mr. Hemlock, donkeys.
Now, Ernest, I'm looking for clues. Now, let's see. The last letter was C.
Duck begins with D.
Quack, 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 quack.
Mr. Hemlock, ducks.
Ernest, please, I must think. Maybe there is something in this room that begins with the missing letter.
D is for dogs, dinosaur, deer, dolphins. Mr. Hemlock, dogs, dinosaurs, deer, dolphins.
Ernest, close that door. I cannot look for clues to the missing letter with all these donkeys, ducks, dogs, dinosaurs, deers, and dolphins. Aha! That's it.
What? Donkeys, ducks, dogs, dinosaurs, deers, and dolphins?
No, the door. Door starts with D. So D must be the missing letter. Sherlock Hemlock has done it again.
Dynamite! You were terrific as Penelope, Bert.
Thanks, Ernie. But I can't wait for Volume 3 to see Penelope gets away from that giant bird.
The end.
Don't forget to visit Geekyjr for more of the stories that you love, only on Geekyjr and Speaky Geeky. Ask a parent or guardian if you can subscribe to Geekyjr today.